All right, so today we are diving into all things OpenAI. They're the folks behind ChatGPT, as you know. And, well, let's just say things are getting pretty interesting over there.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure.
We've got a whole bunch of articles here talking about their latest moves, huge funding rounds, some interesting decisions.
Definitely a roller coaster. It seems like everyone's trying to figure out if OpenAI is on the verge of a massive breakthrough or maybe heading for a crash and burn.
Okay, so let's unpack all of it.
Sounds good.
First up, let's talk about the funding. We're talking serious money here, right? Billions.
Oh yeah, billions with a B. This latest funding round is rumored to be around, get this, $6.5 billion, potentially valuing OpenAI at a mind-blowing $150 billion.
$150 billion. It's hard to even wrap your head around that much money. It really shows how much faith some pretty big players have in this tech.
They're betting big on the future of AI, that's for sure.
So who are these big players? What names are we talking about?
Well, Microsoft has been a longtime supporter of OpenAI, and they're reportedly ready to pour in another $1 billion.
Wow.
Then you've got NVIDIA, the graphics card giant. They're rumored to be considering a significant investment as well.
Makes sense considering the computing power needed for all this AI stuff.
Exactly. And then there's this really interesting one, Masayoshi Son, the CEO of SoftBank.
Yeah, the guy who made a fortune investing in Alibaba early on.
Exactly. Well, he's known for making these big, bold bets, and word on the street is he might throw a cool $500 million into OpenAI through his Vision Fund.
Wow. So we're talking major players all betting on OpenAI. It seems like they see something special in OpenAI's technology,
Yeah.
particularly those large language models like ChatGPT.
Yeah, these AI models are capable of some pretty amazing things. Think about it. They can generate human-quality text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, answer your questions in an informative way, and even generate computer code.
It's like we're on the verge of a technological revolution, and everyone wants a piece of the pie.
It really is incredible. But
Right.
but there's some warning signs too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
some of these articles also mention bankruptcy rumors, leadership shakeups. That's going to make you wonder.
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin. So what's the deal with that? Is OpenAI really on shaky ground despite all this cash flowing in?
Well, it all comes down to the economics of AI development. And the truth is, it's incredibly expensive.
How so?
Developing and training these large language models requires massive data sets and enormous amounts of computing power. We're talking massive data centers running 24/7, and that all adds up to astronomical costs. Some analysts estimate OpenAI could rack up losses of around $5 billion within a year.
Yikes, that's a lot of red ink. So this funding isn't just about pushing the boundaries of AI, it's about survival.
To a certain extent, yes, this cash infusion that they're getting, it's essential for them to just keep the lights on.
Wow, high stakes indeed. And speaking of high stakes, one article mentioned that Apple was initially in talks to join this funding round, but decided to pull out at the last minute. Any idea why that happened?
Yeah, it was definitely a surprising move, especially considering that Apple is so heavily invested in AI, and they're even using OpenAI's tech in their new Apple Intelligence platform.
Right, it's like they're saying, we love your tech, but...
But we're not quite convinced.
Exactly.
And honestly, who can blame them? There's been so much uncertainty surrounding OpenAI lately, from those leadership changes to questions about their long-term vision. It makes sense that some investors might be hesitant to jump in right now.
It really makes you think twice about those risks, that's for sure. And speaking of risks, there's been a lot of talk about OpenAI's shift from a nonprofit to a for-profit. Didn't they start with that whole mission about developing AI for the benefit of humanity?
They did. That was a big part of their initial message and why a lot of people were excited about their work.
Right, and now it's like...
Now it's like, well, it's definitely raised some eyebrows.
Yeah. Like, how do you balance making a profit with ensuring that AI is used ethically and for the greater good? It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. It's no surprise that this move has made some folks skeptical. Some see it as a betrayal of their original vision.
I guess it's that whole money changes everything, right? But even with the controversy, there's no denying they're building some seriously impressive technology.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in all the drama, but we can't forget that OpenAI is pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, and their latest model, GPT-4o, is a whole other level.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't, like, AI experts, what makes GPT-4o so groundbreaking? What can it do that's different?
Well, think about it this way. Previous language models, they can only process text, right? But GPT-4o, it can process audio and speech in real time.
Whoa. In real time. In real time. And get this, it can do it in multiple languages.
No way.
Yeah. Imagine having an actual conversation with an AI that understands not just the words you're saying, but like your tone, your intent, even cultural references.
That's wild. That's like next level stuff.
Yeah.
No wonder companies are lining up to invest even with all the other question marks.
Yeah, it's a gamble for sure, but the potential payoff is huge. I mean, if OpenAI can navigate through all these challenges and they can harness the power of GPT-4 responsibly, they could really become the leader in AI.
So they've got to prove they can handle it, right?
Mm.
Speaking of GPT-4o in action, I was reading about how some companies are already using it in pretty amazing ways. There was that one, I think it was Bosch, using it for virtual reality training or something. You're right, Bosch, the engineering giant. They're using GPT-4o's audio processing to create these super realistic training simulations in VR. Like, imagine a technician learning how to repair a complex piece of machinery, not from a manual, but from a virtual instructor who can talk them through each step, answer questions, adapt to how they're learning, all in real time.
It's insane. It's like having a personalized AI tutor right there with you.
Exactly. And it's not just for technical stuff either. There's another company, Lyrebird Health in Australia. They're using GPT-4o as a medical co-pilot to assist doctors, like helping process patient info, even automate some admin tasks.
Wow. It's incredible to see how it's already being used in such diverse fields. And I even read that Microsoft is using GPT-4o to develop a voice-based AI.
Yeah, it's called VoiceRag.
VoiceRag, right.
Basically, it takes GPT-4o's real-time audio processing and combines it with this vast knowledge base. So imagine being able to speak your questions out loud, and instead of just getting text back, you get spoken answers, complete with citations and everything.
Well, that's like
Oh, wow.
having a super-powered research librarian right at your fingertips.
Exactly. That's insane. It's clear this technology has the potential to be incredibly beneficial. But, of course, there's always another side to the coin.
Boy,
Right
yeah.
power, right.
Right.
OpenAI keeps saying they are committed to trustworthy AI, but what does that even mean? What are they doing in practice to make sure that GPT-4o isn't misused or that it doesn't, lead to unintended consequences? That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? They talked about implementing safety measures, like there's automated monitoring of GPT-4's outputs,
Yeah.
and they have human review processes to try to catch any bias or harmful content before it gets out there.
So they're trying to stay ahead of the game.
They have to.
Yeah.
I mean, this technology, it's evolving so quickly, and the ethical questions, they're still being figured out. It's a real tightrope walk, trying to balance innovation with responsibility.
Absolutely. And it sounds like they're doing all of this with the whole world
Yeah.
watching, scrutinizing their every move.
Yeah.
So for the average person like me trying to keep up with all of this, what's the takeaway? I mean, should we be excited, terrified, or somewhere in between?
Honestly, I think it's okay to feel a little bit of everything. This is huge, We're talking about something with the potential to completely change the world. And like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a lot. It really does feel like we're standing on the edge of something massive,
Yeah.
and it's both exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time.
It is. It is. And I think that's the thing about these deep dives, They always leave us with more questions than we started with.
That's true. So as we try to sort through all of this, what are the really big questions that we should be asking ourselves? What's the key takeaway from all of this?
Well, will this massive investment pay off? Will OpenAI actually achieve what they're setting out to do, create AGI, artificial general intelligence,
Mhm.
an AI that can truly think and learn like a human?
And if they do,
Exactly. What does that even mean for us?
those are the billion-dollar questions if I've ever heard them.
They are. And I think alongside all of that, we can't forget the potential impact on jobs. If AI systems become as capable as everyone is saying they will be, what happens then?
Right. Will they start replacing human workers? And how do we prepare for that kind of shift in the workforce?
It's a lot to think about. It really is.
It is. On the one hand, you have these incredible advancements that could potentially make our lives so much better. But then there's that uncertainty, that fear about the potential downsides.
You said it. It's
Yeah.
like this weird mix of potential and danger. And I think that's why it's more important than ever to stay informed, to keep asking these tough questions, and to have these conversations.
It's not just about the technology itself, right? It's about the choices that we make as a society on how to use it.
Exactly. The future of AI is being written right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping what that looks like.
I love that. So well said. And that actually is a perfect place to wrap things up. This deep dive might be over, but the conversation definitely isn't. To everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What role do you think AI should play in our future? Keep those questions coming and keep diving deep. Until next time.